Good evening, everyone. This is your host, Jess, and what is a video game sequel? You know, you'd think a sequel is meant to build upon its predecessor, right? Maybe not be a better game. Sometimes that's just not always the case. But at least the sequel acknowledges the first and is clearly distinct from the original. Now, is a game a sequel if it doesn't do that? Or really anything at all? Man, I'm so good at this game. Aww. Oh, I got 3 with that! I love eating dirt. What happened is I was eating dirt. I grabbed it out of the ground with... Or maybe a sequel is the equivalent of an update patch. You get some graphics, maybe a mode, some maps, I use gum wrapper. So more than a TF2 update, less than a Terraria update. No, I was cold dirty. I was digging dirt. I tried the diggy hole, but I was not a dwarf. I was a failure digging a hole. And I think that's where we get pointless sequels. They really just don't do much, but they're advertised as so much more. And not just that, they neuter the game in some areas. Like removing Bastion and Torbjorn due to a glitch. And the result was me being severely disappointed. Thank you, Donkey. There has been a small trend with pointless sequels. We have Overwatch 2, we have CS2, and it'll soon be Smite 2. To be fair, it's not a lot of games, but these games are still big and influential. Maybe not as much as they were, but they're still big games, and they had a legacy behind them. Oddly enough, these are also just multiplayer games, which I would expect not to be the case due to the live service model. Constant updates, constant content being pumped out for said game. I'm gonna be honest, I just don't understand the business decision. The business decision being pumping out a sequel with really no substantial changes. I kind of want to go over each of these updates a little bit. First, going off with Overwatch 2, because Overwatch 2, you know it was going to be a sequel. There was going to be a lot of big changes, and the biggest thing about it was the PvE. The PvE got put in. It was a neutered version of the PvE that was $15, and eventually they're like, nope, not anymore. And then if we're talking multiplayer, we have 5v5, some new heroes, some maps, and a gum wrapper. Now, it's like, you could probably argue the semantics of whether the multiplayer update was good or not, because I know there's 5v5, people are already like, I'm already sick of this already. The multiplayer update, there was not much to the multiplayer update. The new game mode you got was Push the Robot, and then you also got, well, you got a couple new game modes now, but in terms of game modes, it's just not a lot. It was really just like a minor patch in the grand scheme of Overwatch. Overwatch launched with more content than Overwatch 2. There's really not much else to say on it. There's just, what do you say when there's nothing? I mean, I could just express my disappointment for a AAA company not delivering on a promise of a sequel, but that's already been discussed to high hell. It's not like Overwatch is still not a fun game. I still do enjoy Overwatch, but it's just like, wow. It just leaves a massive bad taste in your mouth, and you're like, man. Because they're like, oh, well, that happened. All right, back to business as usual. I mean, that's kind of just it. There's just nothing really else to cover. That's the game. And then you also have the CS2 update. I mean, things look nicer, but at the end of the day, what you ended up getting was they broke Surf. So you can't do Surf no more Surf maps. Several maps have been removed. Spray patterns of guns got changed, but you know, you get cool smokes. You know, I expected to talk about those two a little more, but that's it. There's nothing else to yap about, because there literally is nothing to yap about. It's just disappointing. It's just unbelievably disappointing. And I think that's probably the biggest part, is that I expect so much more from both Valve and from Blizzard. Great games have been delivered under your brand. What's this? Sometimes the expectation is at least you could deliver on a full game, but it's not a full game. It's the game that's already been there. There's just a slight difference to it. My health pack. Thank you very much. I mean, there's also Smite 2, which is run by Hi-Rez, so, I mean, something's gonna go terribly wrong regardless. When you advertise a 2 at the end of something, it just gets your hopes up. And when it's like, oh, this is like Krusty Land from that one SpongeBob episode, and it's like, here, kids! And it's like, you unveil it, and it's just a bunch of, like, just poorly put together crap, and it's like, yeah, that's the sequel right there. I just don't understand the PR decision, because, what is it? You know, if they just approached it in a different way, where it's just like, this isn't a sequel, this is just a patch update. Probably be a lot less negative input on it. I mean, there's still be negative reaction to like, man, this is like nothing. But at least it's not like, oh, this is a sequel. I mean, sequel, quote unquote, with like a couple pieces of glue and some... I just don't really understand it. You know, Halo 5 shot itself in the foot for like basically false advertising its story. But at least there was something to it, you know? It's like, I can at least give it that. But I think it's like different issues, kind of the same concept. Basically, what was advertised was not basically what was advertised was not delivered. But you know, I think if we're also, it's like also making the comparison of Halo 5, don't make a promise, you know you can't keep. And if you can't promise a sequel, don't promise a sequel. I think sometimes it's simple as that. And then it's like, oh, it's a sequel, and then it's like, oh, we can't deliver on that. It still leaves a bad taste in your mouth. Halo 5 shot itself in the foot, but at least it used a different bullet. Winton. I mean, that's the game. It's hero swapping. Shotgun go burp. It's about me having fun, not you having fun. You know, I almost rather just have a bad sequel, because at least they do something, you know? Can't really. It's like, there's bad and good bad. Halo 5 was bad. Well, at least if, like, there's a bad sequel, it could be good bad, instead of, like, a sequel that just kind of does nothing. But, I mean, that's kind of just how it be. It's like, you could just have a bad game, maybe fun bad, maybe bad. At least you got something, and not nothing. Buy my battle pass. It's like, I thought about, because like with PR advertising for like remasters, but I feel like they're in a different kind of advertisement, because it's like they're advertising a game that already exists, so it's like you kind of know what to expect, you know? It's like you can at least give it that. With this, expectations are a little more all over the place. So I wouldn't necessarily put remasters and these kinds of sequels in the same boat. They each got their own different issues, to be fair. I think it just feels weird, because I feel like the focus of a sequel is for more long-term gains, especially with the live service model. You could put out another game, give it a couple more updates, and you get a decent amount out of it. But in this case, it feels like more short-term gains were realized. Maybe not in the money department, because people still do put a decent amount of money into Overwatch. But in terms of just gaming, like actual game, this is a short-term development for gaming. What grounds have been broken here? Nothing. But, you know, it's like, I guess they made their money. But it's just disappointing, you know? And I don't like the trend. I don't really think this trend is going to be around for long, because the PR, it's just a PR disaster. Thankfully, only a few games have done something like this, but it's just a big slap in the face. For what? For what? That's kind of the question. You did nothing for what? I just don't get it. It's just so weird. Because really, all that was worth was a gum wrapper and a spray paint can. And Father says, go have fun. But what else is there to do? Everything's already been done. I just hope this is a trend that just doesn't see, as like after Smite 2, is just a trend that just does not appear again. Because it's just gross. It's just, honestly, it's just gross. Boom. Yeah, but this does kind of highlight a trend of AAA quality going down over the years. But even with AAA going down, Quadruple A has shot up. Have you seen Sea of Bones? Man, that game was so good. Man, I can't wait for the next Quadruple A game to come out for $8 million and 6 pennies. Well, but anyways, that's kind of really all I wanted to highlight. I'm just disappointed with the quality of AAA, and this is just an odd example of it. And I just still don't get the PR. I know some people say all PR is good PR, but no, no. Oh, we just got obliterated. I hope this trend dies off, but I think AAA quality is going back up is probably not going to happen. What would cause maybe a change in that? I have no idea. But I think around, it's like, I'm probably just going to go and play Dishonored.